Hello students. So in previous class we have discussed about the topics of the poverty, and we have also discussed about the activity. So today we are going to discuss about the topic of the agriculture, source of livelihood. So how the agriculture, it is a main source of for the to surviving a life for the people. More than 50% of the people in our India, they will still depend upon agriculture activities for their livelihood. It is true, right? In our daily life we will see that more than 50% of the people, they are now also they are depending upon the agriculture activities only to live their life. It may be loss or profit, but they will depend on agriculture only. If they doesn't do any agriculture, then we doesn't get the food to eat for us. So most of the people, they will depend on agriculture. However, the agriculture will contributes only 1 by 6th of the total income of the country. How much? The 1 by 6th of the total income of country, our agriculture, it will be contributes. The limited employment opportunities in manufacturing and services have forced people to continue to depend upon the agriculture. So there will be a limited amount of opportunities will be there in this, in the departments like what, in manufacturing also, in services also. So like this, there are very limited amount of opportunities they'll get. So by this, the people, they have forced the people to continue to depend upon the agriculture only. Most of them are small farmers and agricultural laborers only some people are the large farmers and medium farmers and traders, but most of them are what, most of them are the small farmers and agricultural laborers only. So besides, there are persons who occupations are allied to agriculture, like the carpenter, ramachari. So we have discussed as example of ramachari, right? So he is a carpenter. So like this, not only the small farmers and agriculture laborers, besides of them, there are some of the persons who have a profession, who will depend on the agriculture activities, like the carpenter of ramachari. Though, so the success of such non-farm workers, like what, non-farm workers, who we call them, some categories are what, the potters who will make the pots, leather workers, small processing unit workers in the village, they will also depends on the state of agriculture only. So we have seen, no, in example we saw how the ramachari and his family, they are suffered when the agriculture has the agriculture opportunity has decreased in the village when the new machineries came. So for the ramachari carpenter, the demand has decreased, isn't it, for his tools. So that's why how they have faced the problem, they have suffered lot of problem, no, in their villages. So there was no demand for his tools and implements, that ramachari, they could make the income for their family. So the ramachari had little work and hardly any income. So they have a small, so after stopping his income from the agriculture, they have a small work only 2-3 persons, 2 to 5 persons only, they have started to come here. So that's why, and hardly only some amount of income he is getting. So like other poor households who are there, the family possessed no land and no cattle. So in the villages, other families also there, no, for them, they doesn't have no own land for them and no any cattle for them. They will depend on the agriculture activities only. So the village could provide no opportunities for work as agricultural laborer in the fields in that year. So because of that, what happened in their village, no one is getting any agriculture opportunities to them. So there was no any the agriculture work, and there was no any non farming works also. Since the well-being and livelihood of so many people is depend on agriculture. So many of the people, for their life, for their livelihood, the so many people, they will depend on agriculture only, because it is very important that agriculture grows well. Why? Because then only, if the agriculture grows well, then only we'll get the food what we are eating every day. Otherwise we won't get any food. So that's why it is very important to grow the agriculture well. So when agriculture prospers, it would normally generate the employment and income for people in the rural areas. So whenever the normally whenever the agriculture will give the opportunities of employment, so the people will get the income, a good income in the rural areas, in village areas. So when agriculture production is abundant, the prices of food items are likely it to be more affordable for people than they would otherwise be. So whenever the agriculture production is abundant, then whatever the food items which are producing in the crops, the prices of the food items, it will be more affordable to the people. At present there are a variety of problems. The ploughing in the plogging agriculture. So you have already read it in the chapter of agriculture in your previous classes, no, in 6th, at that time. So how the small farmers will suffer as a result of lack of water for irrigation, lack of loans at reasonable interest rate, and lack of reliable seeds and fertilizers for cropping. So we already know how they will face the problems, because they doesn't have money. So they, what they will do, they will take loans for the high interest, and they doesn't have water, irrigation facilities for their fields, and they can't buy the seeds and fertilizers, pesticides for their cropping. So you might also read that, once you recall the case studies of small farmers, the Ravi and Ramu in Venkatapuram. So what is happened there, the high cost of inputs, and it is nothing but the high cost of seeds and fertilizers. Inputs is nothing but the seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, whatever they are there. The low yields or frequent crop failure have led to the acute farmer distress. So they are keeping a large amount of investment there, high cost they are keeping for that, but when the crops are failing, they are not getting even some profit also. So the crops are getting failure, and it is becoming the farmers going into the distress. So most small farmers are forced to work as a agricultural laborers only, because they doesn't have any other option. So definitely they have to work as a small laborers only in agriculture in order to make the ends meet. So in fact 4 out of 5 farmers in our Telangana and Andhra Pradesh are like Ravi and Ramu only. They are keeping more investment, more high cost inputs in the agriculture, but they, so most of the people, 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5 farmers, they are same like Ravi and Ramu. They are facing, they are keeping high amount of cost of inputs, but they are getting all the crops failure. Okay. Next topic is the other livelihood options. So in our Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, nearly the 2/5 of all the rural families are mainly agricultural laborers only. How much? The 2/5 of nearly how much? The 2/5 of all the families, rural families in the villages, they are mainly dependent on agriculture only. There are almost the agriculture laborers only, not owners. They are laborers only, and these families are mostly landless people only. So that's why they are working as the agricultural laborers, because they are landless. So and others cultivate very little land, so the opportunities for work are very limited here, because they doesn't have their own land, they are working as the laborers. That's why they have opportunities very limitedly, and the number of days of agriculture work that laborers can manage to get in a normal years is how many days? The 120 to 180 days only. So they'll get agriculture work as a laborers for only from 120 days to 180 days only. So there are long stretches of lean season when particularly no work is available on the fields. So in years when the crops will fail due to the any reason, it may be the droughts or floods, pest attacks, or any other calamity, the number of days of agricultural work are further reduced. So already it will available only for a 120 to 180 days. So because of any other reasons like droughts and floods, so that days will also reduce, the work opportunities will become less. So these are the times when large scale migrations happen and acute distress and hunger strikes the countryside. So at this time only, what will happen to our India, it will get the distress and hunger strikes of our countries, right? So what can be done to ensure to their livelihoods are protected in such circumstances? So in these situations, what we have to do first of all here, what they have to do to protect in the all these situation circumstances? So the right to work states that everyone should be given the opportunity to work for the basic living. So we have a right to work. So what the right to work is saying, the right to work is saying that each and every person should get the opportunity to work to earn the basic living income. Our Indian constitution says that it refers to the right to worker under the directive principles of the state policy. So we have directive principles now in our constitution, in that the right to work is in the directive principles of state policy. In the article of 41 stresses that the state shall, within the limits of the economic capacity and development, to make effective provision for the securing right to work. So everyone should get the opportunity to work for the basic living. However, the people have never been able to exercise this right. So people will not try to exercise this their right to work. So the government have started the public works and workers would be employed. These poor people only they have employed as a workers. The government has started some schemes. What is that? But the people generally could not demand work what they required for somewhere close to their homes. So after some years of strugglings by the people of groups, then the government has implemented a scheme, the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. In the year 2005, it got into the existence. So this scheme was passed by the government. So it was a major breakthrough towards the protection of livelihoods in rural areas. So by this scheme, the people can work and they can earn some basic living. Coming to the scheme of the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, MNREGA, it is into existence in the year of 2005. So what is the scheme? The Baleshwar Mahato, he is the resident of Bihar's district. And what he have done, he goes to Punjab every year. For what purpose? He goes to Punjab every year in search of work to sustain his family, to do some work and to send income to their family. He will go to there, and he planned to go there this June as well. So every year he used to go in the June. So this year also he planned to go in the June as well. So however, he got the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act employment in his own village only. So this scheme has introduced in his own village. So he decided to stay back. So he did not went to another state like Punjab. He did not went for the work there. So he stayed back at in his village only. So a large number of people from these Bihars, they are forced to look for work in Punjab, Delhi and Gujarat, as employment is hard to find locally. So not only this one person, but many of the members, they have started to go for the other states like Punjab, Delhi, Gujarat for the employment purpose, because in locally they did not used to get the work there. So what is available is very poorly paid. So if available also in their village, if local work if available also, they used to get very less wages like 40 rupees or 60 rupees for the, it is also in the harvest season only, when the agriculture will crops will be completely, they will crops will be get to us. So at that time harvesting will be gone, no? So at that harvest season, for daily 40 to 60 rupees just they used to get in the local. So otherwise even less, 25 to 50 also per day. So this Baleshwar, he have takes up such employment only when he is forced to stay back in his village, for instance owing to illness in the family. So at that time, so what he used to do, if his family, any people are illness, so this he used to stay back in his village only, and he used to work for in the harvesting season in agriculture as a laborer, and he used to get just a 25 to 50 or 40 to 60 rupees per each day. However, if we see in the cities, the migrant workers live in deplorable conditions. It is nothing but no basic facilities also, with no access to basic facilities, such as what are the basic facilities, like shelter, sanitization, drinking, safe drinking water. So not even basic facilities also there. So the women and children who are left behind, they face insecurity, and family relations also, they will suffer a lot because of this. Facilities are not provided properly by the government. So this Mahatma Gandhi act, it is a triple bonus for the Baleshwar. So it is a very good bonus for the Baleshwar. Why? Because apart from providing the local employment, it will also enables him to combine his work with tending his own fields and spending more time with his family. So because of this act, what is the benefit he got? He got the benefit of that he can do the work in this scheme, and also he can work in his own fields, and also he can spend the time with his family. So these are the triple bonus he got because of this scheme. So this scheme lays down that any adult member willing to be unskilled manual work, who is looking for work, must to be given work by the government. So if the people who are with the unskilled, it means not educated, they doesn't know any technical skills, so the unskilled labor who are there, who will just do the manual work for them, and who are looking for the work for them, this is an opportunity which have given by the government. So a rural household can demand at least 100 days of employment in a year. So this scheme, it will provide 100 days of employment in a year, for which the government will pay the minimum wages to them. So the following are the some sample activities which are done in this scheme, in the Mahatma Gandhi scheme. What is that? First, so the water conservation and water harvesting they have to do in this, and draft proofing in it means including tree plantation. Trees will be keep, no, the Mahatma Gandhi in scheme, the people will keep the trees, the people will provide the water harvesting, all this, and provisions of they will also provide the irrigation facilities, and land owned by the households belonging to the SCs and STs also, and renovation of traditional water bodies, including desalting of tanks. So all these works they will do in this. A social audit report. So what is the social audit report? The findings of the social audit team in Ishapalli in Nizamabad district in our Telangana in February 2009, it is showing what? It is showing the social audit report. What it is showing? First of all, it is showing the payments were made correctly or not, and next it is the field assistant performed his function well or not, and there were no contractors at the work site, so but the work quality is poor. So besides, it found that what it also founded that the planetization and ploughing work has been done only in 5 to 6 acres, and whereas the measurement sheet of his work shows that ploughing and plantation where has been done in 15 acres, but they have done only for 5.6 acres only. So money has been paid for the access of 9.4 acres. So old technical assistant, who is the him Ram Mohan, he is responsible for this issue. So this is the problem happened when the audit team they have came to check the report here. What happened? First of all, they have checked that payments are made correctly or not, and the field assistant, he have performed his work well or not, and there were no contractors in the work site only, nobody was there at that time, and whatever the work they have done, it is very poor quality. And also what if there is a 15 acres of land, in that they have just pluffed plantation only for 5.6 acres, but they have done the payment that 9.5 acres, so they have given the payment. So it is a very big issue, right? So the assistant Ram Mohan only, he is responsible for this issue. As per the records, Rama Devi of Syndicate Nagar, he had to pay 400 for 6 days regarding the pebble bonding work she have done. So but she have not been paid the amount. She have done work but she did not got the amount. So about this issue, we can also take the information about this social audit of your village from your website of the society for the social audit, and accountability and transparency of Department of Rural Development and Government of Telangana. So here you have a website. In this website you can check this about your village or about your own village of the social audit. So in next class we will discuss the remaining